Today I want to talk about what is, quite frankly, terrible news that could affect the future of physical media and film itself, film preservation. This is incredibly important. In case you haven't heard, it has been discovered that the film The French Connection has been edited for the purpose of streaming and digital distribution, and this has been done by Disney, who of course now own Fox after their acquisition. And there's so much to say about this. I want to recommend people watch Heath at Serial at Midnight. He made a great video on it a few days ago, made many great points. I have some things to add to this as well that he didn't cover, but I agree with him. This is a real big deal, and I want people to take note because it's in our hands to try and change the course of where this is going. So Disney have edited a few lines out of The French Connection because of language that could be seen as offensive or hateful today, racially motivated language. And they have done this, by the way, without informing anyone, without letting anyone know about this. Here's the thing, it isn't about what they have cut or why they have cut it. It's the fact that it has happened at all, and the precedent that this sets for companies and Disney themselves going forward into the future. Now you have to ask, why have Disney done this? What purpose is it serving? Because in the context of the film, this is a character who, has bad morals and would use that sort of language. We don't watch the film thinking, oh yeah, that's the right thing to do, that's the right thing to say. And if this is something that Disney want to do again and again, well, they're going to have a tall task on their hands, because if you look at the history of Hollywood films and the use of racist language and stereotypes and all sorts of other things that are not okay today, and weren't okay back then, by the way, they're going to have a big job on their hands to erase all of that. And that's a key point. Why try to erase it? Because we can surely use this. It's valuable to us to look at history and be able to pinpoint things that we shouldn't do now or that aren't necessary to do in films. But anyway, whether it's morally right or not to have that content in a film today is not what I'm getting at here. It's the fact that a film has been cut, and if we allow this to happen, this opens the floodgates, because this allows film holders like Disney to cut films however they want. This is a key point that Heath made in his video, in that Disney as a company are mainly there to make a profit, and anything that can make money for them is something that they will pursue. And I have to imagine that this decision is made to make money. It could be indirectly, because by taking this out of the film, it makes them look good as a company. It makes them look ethically minded, morally conscious. Or it could be actually directly related to profit, in that by cutting this from the movie, it makes more people watch the movie. What you may or may not realize is that when you watch a film on Disney Plus, Disney track all of that information in terms of when you pause a film, if you rewind and fast forward, and most importantly, where you stop watching, where you turn it off and do something else. The thing is, in the future, this gives Disney the option to take this data and see where people are most likely to turn off watching a film, and they could choose to cut that tiny portion from a film to keep people watching longer. And this is not in service of the art. This is purely in service of making money. And it's up to us to be vocal about this, because quite frankly, the majority of people might not notice these cuts being made in movies. And we could get to the point where in the future, these are the only surviving copies of these films. Going back to The French Connection, this is now the version of the film that is not only streaming on the Criterion channel, by the way, it's also being used for theatrical screenings, and most likely they would use this cut for future editions on disc. And the existing Blu-rays of The French Connection are not the best discs, by the way. There's a lot left in there to be improved. So, I've been hopeful that we would get a 4K restoration and a new disc, but frankly, this could happen if we ever do get that 4K release. We're living in a time where, because of digital and streaming, these companies can acquire so much data about how we watch a film and how we enjoy a film. And they can use this to change the films however they want. If they test different colours in a film and a different colour grade, and they see that people enjoy that more, then they have no issue changing that and making that the only version you can watch. Similarly, if a film does better financially by cutting 10 or 15 minutes out of it, they'll have no problem doing that. So you might think, why am I making such a big fuss about this? Because it's a tiny issue. It's a few seconds in a film that people might not even realise has gone. Well, like I've said, and it bears repeating, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This could lead on to so much more. And if we don't fight it now, if we're not vocal about it, and if we don't vote with our wallet, then this could become commonplace. And frankly, that would be destructive for the future of film, the future of physical media, because this would be where these films are coming from these big companies who have made these changes. So we need to make sure that this doesn't happen. And this ties into bigger issues that have been going on in terms of colour grades changing on Criterion Collection discs, and how the Miller's Crossing, the Coen Brothers movie, when that was released by Criterion, there were a few seconds cut from that film at the request of the filmmakers, and Criterion didn't let anyone know about that. So if you watch their version right now, you're watching a version that has been cut, and that's the version that will survive in perpetuity. This is my thoughts on the situation. It's very bad, and it could get much, much worse if this isn't stopped. And we need as many people, hopefully famous filmmakers will come out about this. I don't think William Friedkin, the director, has said anything yet, but hopefully he does, because this just cannot become commonplace. And in terms of things that could be deemed offensive today, I think they should be left alone in the films. You can put the disclaimers at the start of the film, but more importantly, I think just add the context around the film. Make it clear that, this film is from a historical point of view. It might be depicting a character who has these certain thoughts and beliefs. Because like I said, there are so many things in the history of Hollywood that would need to be erased if this is what is going to happen. I mean, look at something like Breakfast at Tiffany's and just the obscene yellow face that is used in that movie. I mean, what are they going to do? Just completely cut that character out of the film? I don't know if that's the solution, but I know that in order to preserve films, they should not be cut. They should be kept intact. Do let me know your thoughts in a comment below, because obviously I think it's very important, and I hopefully you agree with me too. If you want to watch more videos about the future of physical media and things that could affect it, then just click the video that's on screen right now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.